What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Victorious Sidekick's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at KFC Simba. Let me get this straight out of the way. I like to be transparent about such things. This was sent to me by Hung the Go from 215 Toys, so appreciate that dude. And he doesn't care what I say about it. He's like, trash it if you think it's trash, praise it if you think it's good. So that's awesome. I've been fortunate that way, man. Like, there's been a couple people like 215 Toys, Toy Dojo, Maketoys, Cloud9, like every time they've sent me anything, it's always been, look, just say what you got to say about it. Nobody's been like, look, take it, please don't. The only thing I got was Toy Dojo told me not to take a hammer to it. So anyway, let's continue. This guy's pretty good. All right, we're gonna talk about whatever. Everybody calm down. Everybody back her down. We're gonna see if it holds up to the Junkions, which was their last release. What we have to do first is talk about some accessories. So as you can see, he's all armored up. He can do the gun thing on the side that pegs in. We'll talk about it. He can do the guns on the back. He can do the whip, the shield, all that. He also comes with a couple blue translucent pieces. We'll talk about this later. Quality-wise, they're good to go. It's translucent, but it's sturdy plastic, so that's a bonus. And then he comes with these pieces, which I haven't found a way to accessorize him with it. I don't know. I have no instructions, so in the words of, who are the members of Fleetwood Mac?
Looking. All right, here's what I got.
Stevie Nicks. It's alright, baby. I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm trying hard to change. No, it's a really good song, though, if you get the opportunity. Now, real quick, before we get into this guy, I must say that the story is that Hung took a look at this, contacted Keith, and said, there's little to no paint on this thing. And Keith said, yeah, we haven't finished all the paint applications yet. And Hung said, well, you know who I'm sending it to, right? The thing is that guess what? I don't actually mind the lack of paint on this thing. And do you want to know why? Because that barely has any paint on it. So it matches. And I'm okay with it. Takara set the standard, which was lower. Speaking of which, anybody else out there have this issue? I told you I had a funny feeling about this thing. But Takara set the standard with this, especially in the sense of aesthetics. So if this was over the top with paint, it would look too good for this. So I'm actually okay with how this all sorted out, given the circumstances. Also, as you can see, height-wise, they look great next to one another. Fantastic, even. So he comes with his signature shield. It plugs in to the arm right there. It also folds up and part forms a bit. Let's see if I can't get it in there. And becomes the nose cone. We'll get back to this, obviously. He comes with his waist-mounted cannon. It's a good connection. I mean, it's solid. There. Plugs in right there, if you can see. And I haven't actually looked to see if he can hold it yet, but let's try that now. You flip this down. This is the part that flips in. This fell off. Hopefully that'll be sorted. That flips in. So this plugs in there, and he holds it. This is maybe that's a tightening the screw bit, but that could be a little. He could have a little bit of a droopy gun if you even wanted him to hold it. And it's a lot of weight, so it's pulling the hand down as well. So that just needs to be noted. As for the gun itself, black plastic, gray plastic, red plastic, no paint, but enough color breakup where it's interesting to look at. So that's a bonus. Of course, as we talked about, this flips up and down. Good to go. He comes with his signature whip. It plugs into his hand quite nicely. It might actually be a challenge to get out. Oh, that doesn't look good, does it? It is a very tight connection to the hand. So the one thing is that's secure. Second, the not so good thing is I just pulled the hand off. They're all on little ball pegs. but it is a decent plastic casing around the ball peg, so it feels sturdy, and you get all of that. Like a lot of times with stuff like this, it feels like dainty. And you know, Keith's stuff, like Keith's not afraid of using like small tabs and small flaps and stuff like that. This doesn't feel dainty in that sense. This feels sturdy. It feels like you could, you know, twist it all up with no fear of breakage. It feels good. He comes with his signature back cannons. They articulate on a hinge here, and this slides in and out. I'm not sure if that is intended or not, but the cannons do slide on there. And they plug in fairly well, but let's see if I can. Okay, there. And we'll undo this one as well. So this piece is on a slider in there like we talked about, and this flips around, and I think we get to this later on. But it can make plugging it in to the peg a little bit challenging. Outside of that is red plastic, white plastic, and they look the part. So let's talk about them. Let's get down into it. The head. So it's on a hinge. This is fairly clever. I'm trying to keep my composure because I keep waiting to see the fail point here, but just bear with me. So the swivel is down where it meets the neck. The hinge is up inside the head. So you get the swivel and you get the tilt. Now it's limited down, limited up, but you can adjust this flap and cheat it if you can get the right pose for a picture or what have you. This isn't tabbed in quite properly either. We'll get there. The face sculpt is great. Great silver paint, great blue paint finish on it. The black and yellow breaks it up fair enough. The teeth are an issue, but I think that they're aware of that, and it's got great blue paint on the eyes. The reason why the teeth are an issue is because they swivel out. It's a very small piece, but this one keeps popping out, as you can see. I have been told that they are aware of it, and it is going to be fixed. But you know, whether or not it's going to be fixed, we don't know. I don't know especially, but I would advise them definitely to make sure that that's fixed. Shoulders. First of all, this thing's got ratchets everywhere, and the plastic feels better than the Star Saber one. I'm just going to be honest with you. The piece feels better, but it's at least in the same ballpark. Ratchet swivel all the way around. It's basically a universal joint, ratcheted hinge there, getting you all the way up to there. Then this swivels, this hinges as well, getting you all the way up to there. Pretty much picture perfect. Bicep swivel, little tight, but it's there. Elbow hinge, ratcheted, 90 degrees, no problems there. Hands, as you saw, are on a ball peg. They're actually on a double ball peg, from what I can tell anyway. Let's make sure. I can't see. It feels like they're on a double ball peg. So ball peg, maybe it's just I can't tell. Either way, it's fine. You get the swivel there. You get a little bit of hinge in and out or up and down, depending on your sensibilities. The hands. These are the best individually articulated hands I've seen on a Keith product. They're not the best individually articulated fingers I've ever seen, but they're pretty good. Ball pegs all along the knuckles. Usually my problem is, like if you saw with Grassor, ball pegs here, like every now and then you'll catch a loose angle. No loose angles here, and all the hinges work well. You got hinges on the second and third knuckle, ball pegs on the initial knuckle. Here's the same, and then you got a hinge at this knuckle as well. Same for the other side. Waist swivel, obviously. No problems there. The side Gatling guns are on a ball peg right there, so they can swivel around with no problem. Whatever you want to do. And then we have universal joints for hips. Ratcheted out to there. Ratcheted forward to there. Let's see if we can get it to come down. Probably can because it's a weighty figure, but let's give it a shot. Not easy. That's good. And back to there. Knees are on a single hinge, also ratcheted, getting you just shy of 90 degrees. I think that that's okay given the bulk of the figure. So, we do get a little bit of paint down here. We get this silver down in there. So, I would imagine that this is pretty close to how we're going to get it. The feet. The feet aren't the best, but they're not the worst either. They'll hold just fine, but you get no proper articulation in the sense of a foot. Everything works on the toe and heel. So you get it. Basic, I guess that kind of, actually, you know what? I'll take that back because it's actually articulating in the ankle, so let's give it to him. Ankle tilt, up to there, down to there, and then the rocker. Oh, I thought it was to here. It's not. It's up there. That's smarter. So that's great. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take back every initial, when I looked at this initially, that's good. Good job, Keith. Keith, look at you. Look at you doing things. So let's get started. You can push the face. It's not easy. Once you get a grip on it, it's fine. Push that in. Then you can bring the jaw down, and you slide the kind of cat head down, and then you can bring these teeth around, but that one's going to fall out, obviously, and we'll fix it later on. Ball up the hand. You want to open this up here. Let's see if I can get a better grip on it. There you go. Rotate the hand around. Ball it in. Close it up. Rotate the lion paw around, pardon me, and then slide this in, and then these toes articulate. We'll talk about them in a bit. Same on the other side. Open up, swivel, ball up, tuck in, close up, spin down, twist, and push in. Lift these hip skirts up. Come around here and press this button, which will allow you to collapse the leg. It's very tight. Alright, I got it. I had to loosen up all the screws here in order to get it. So, let's see. Then you can flip this foot up and open up this paw here and flip that foot up. And that's one. Let's try the other one. We'll see if it's any looser. Alright, so after loosening up the same set of screws, it's fine. Close the foot up, open the paw, close the foot. You're going to tab together, but before you do, get your tail, and it shouldn't really matter, but it goes in here using this locking kind of key, like locking key. Is that'll do. And then close it up. At that point, you can bring the paws down on both sides. Take the wings. This is really tight, but you can untab them from those and then rotate them down and tab them back in. Same on this side. And tab them back then. And then you tab in your two shoulder guns here and there, and the big mamma jamma here and there. So I'll do that. We'll take a look at them. Just as a heads up, Keith, I'm seeing black chipping on the paint here. So be mindful of that. And he's huge, and he's pretty awesome, and we'll talk about him, but just for a size comparison wise, there he is next to Tiger Tracks. So, let's talk about articulation. We have the same arm articulation, so the same ratchets and all that swivels. The only thing that really changes is the foot, which is on a ball peg, and then all the toes articulate. So the fact that it's on a ball peg allows you to get the rocker, and then the fact that you can spread the toes gives them extra weight bearing sense, and that works beautifully. Well done. Same for the other side. For the rear legs, you get a little bit of a pivot there. It destroys the sculpted taste. I don't know, like if you see how far you can get it out, but then you can just kind of separate it a bit. And then you get a ratcheted knee here. So that works well. This plastic here is a little gunked up. I'm sure that will be sorted at least. And then it gets an ankle rocker and an ankle tilt. And we always talk about beast modes, like you can't really do ankle rockers unless they're on ball joints. He found a way to do it. Now it does make the sculpt a little goofy, but I totally think it's worth it. I totally think it's a worthwhile sacrifice. And then of course the tail, which we've already talked about. And the wings, you know, you can do whatever you want with them as far as bring them up or fold this piece up or what, you know. Options are kind of limitless there. But yeah, it's really well done. All right, before we go any further, I forgot to talk about the head articulation. So you do get the same swivel, but not really. Why is that? Okay, yes, you do. You just got to make sure that it's not caught up on anything. And then the jaw moves down to here, and it actually has like a little red, like tongue piece almost up in there, or roof of the mouth. I don't know. And then you get the same hinge as well. So you want to take this piece and untab it from here. It usually tabs under there. I just already got it done. So untab it from there. And I have it done because it basically, it was a pain to get in and out. So that's something to be noted too. So then you can get the arms sorted, pull out, so to speak. And you need this to collapse in on itself. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just going to be honest with you. I just looked at pictures and try to do it the best I can. I guess took that up like that might look better. Sit that up like that. We'll do it on the other side as well. Let's get this up there. Rotate the bicep, and that should allow you to collapse it. You can collapse the feet. There. For the back legs, it's pretty much the same deal. Spin here and collapse so that this is as much in line as possible. Same on the other side. You can see I split the legs to get the tail out. You can just leave that split for the time being. And collapsed. And then add on your nose cone. Make sure that this tab piece is out, and it needs to slide in here, and then it's supposed to go underneath this little knob here on the foot, so to speak. Now this rotates, so you may need to adjust it. It's not the easiest thing to do. Plug it in. Rotate the wings up into their initial position, which we know is not the easiest thing to do. And then we'll arm them up and we'll take a look at them. It's massive and relatively unwieldy. This is ratcheted, that little piece there, so it'll stay fairly in place. Take these two pieces, interlock them together. Then take your blue translucent piece, tab that together, and then on the underside you can tab this in. Boom. So yeah, it's it's insane. It's beautiful. I mean, they did a great job. It is huge. There's tiger tracks for a sense of size. You know, I guess we'll go hands-free. Just capture a little bit of it because it is impressive. It's massive. Well done. We gotta get this guy ready for super space jet mode. Just take this out for now. You can take these out. They're pegged into little pegs here that rotate. And we'll just leave them off. We know where they go. They go back up here. We'll set it up later. Split this. That will come off. We're going to use that later for a display stand. You can peg this back together. Rotate these legs down. And you want it so that these feet here combine. Now in order to do that, you're probably going to need to see if I can't get a flathead screwdriver in there. There. They should do something about that. That's obnoxious. Peg those together. And then there's these little flaps here that are spring loaded. Just pull them out. Now we'll set up the display stands and then we'll combine. Take this from Star Saber and this from Star Saber. Slide it in. And then take this from Simba and then this from Star Saber. And that's one half of the stand done. Take this and open it up. Make sure that's out. Take your other flight stand that you just built. You need to push this open. So that's like that. And then you rotate this piece down. That is awfully tight as well. And then this goes into here. And it is tight like a tiger. Where we are locking these tabs into the back of Star Saber. So hold your breath. I got it lined up. And there it is. Sheesh. Now I'm going to put it on the stand so we can take a look at it. And it's beautiful. It's quite an undertaking, and there's so many moving pieces that it's not the most secure thing in the world, but it does hold together. I have, like, it's really just hold together with those, as far as I know, but like, you know, it's no problem. It's not like it's falling apart, but it is unwieldy. But what are they going to do? That's more of a limitation of just how big this thing is supposed to be. But like, I think this is worth doing one time to kind of get a look of it, and not really worth getting back to it again. It's money time, right? So what you need to do is squeeze these two pieces and pull up. That separates the two parts of Victory Saber. And then this piece is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just tuck the lion head in, have the arms down. I think you can have them with the paws back like that. If not, you can just rotate them 180. I don't know if it makes a difference. I can't remember. We'll figure it out. You want to bring these up so that they can hold the cannons over top of his shoulders. And then you got to open all this stuff up to get the backpack to fit on. And that's done. And then with this, you just split it. We'll deal with one at a time. Open this up. Flip this out. Get that around. That is not the best. It's funny because this is actually supposed to sit. It doesn't matter. Get the leg straight. Now, because we went from lion mode, we have to extend this a bit. Which is tight. It's going to require you to close it just a little bit. And I was curious. I guess not, actually. Oh, man. I didn't mention this at all. I didn't even notice this till now. Oh well, now you see it. Those extend. And this comes around like that. You have to rotate here, otherwise you don't have the clearance. And then this pegs in down here. So you can use this as your guide. It looks like a sandwich to me. But yeah, that's one. And you can open this up here. So once again, with this time, let's extend it first. And then we can open this up. Open this up. That's a weird clearance there too. There it is. Hold on 1 second. There's the lock that I was speaking about before. You can open that up there. That will allow you to turn it, rotate it again, and then you can bring it down. This piece slides, so now you can use this as your judge. Let's extend that leg of where to. There. And then open this up. Those pegs go into the back of this foot. Now the way to know which side is which is you want the peg to be on the inside. And then wrap these toes around. And they will actually grab on to a little plastic piece in there. Last thing you need to do is take your flight stand, split it back in half, and these pegs go into these holes. And it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. There. Now the good news is that ain't going anywhere. But let's try again on this side. And I'll be speeding all this up to try to help with the, I don't want you guys getting bored on me. Much easier on that side. And Star Saber popped out before this did. And like the back one came out. This one didn't at all. This one I struggled with more, so this connection may not have even been as secure as I would have liked. Lastly, these two tabs right there. There's one here and one on this side, right on the outside, this red, go into there, and then all of this stuff latches around it. So I don't know the best way to show you guys, but I'm just going to do my best here. There. See, I will say I'm having a hard time getting this. There it is. That doesn't fit as well as I would like it to on the top. Sides locked in. Bottom doesn't seem to lock into anything. And that side's locked in. Oh, that's not going to be good. Alright, so that's it. He's done. Let me clean him up and we'll take a look at him. So there he is. And he's pretty impressive. I'm going to go ahead and show you a size comparison now. Here he is next to Warbotron Bruticus. I was going to, of course, get Lio Kaiser, but I tried to pick him up and he flopped into a billion pieces. So I'm not going to show you that. He's about the same size as Warbotron Bruticus, so if you wanted to put the two of them next to each other, I think that you'd be happy. I plan on putting him on top with my city bots almost, just because I think he's that impressive. I guess I can show you that too. So that's where I plan on putting him. Next to a Mega Supreme and Metroplex, and then I got Scorponok down there. I think that looks really good. He's about the same size. He's like a slightly smaller than Utopia. He's bigger than the Snake Mega Metro, or the whatever this was, this thing. And now we'll do the final thoughts, because there's not much else to show. It doesn't really impinge any of the articulation, except you lose the ankle tilts, but you never really had them to begin with, and you gain ankle rockers, which is actually pretty smart. If you can see on his left foot, he's using an ankle rocker there. It's because of the joint on the lion leg and the way that one piece swivels around on the boot. You get the ankle rocker, and you get it to about there, which I think is more than enough. Really quite good, really quite smart. The backpack, everything is in place. There is the piece that tabs into the top of the backpack. I feel like that will scratch the paint of Star Saber, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But outside of that, that's it. The biggest problem here is the weight of the backpack makes the ratchets in Star Saber fail. It's not Simba's fault, really. It's Star Saber's fault. He's doing okay at the second, but when I was getting him to pose, you see, it's Star Saber's joints that have a hard time holding up the weight of Simba. Now, let me cut right here. And the reason why I wanted to cut is because to put him back in position. You see, the thing is that once you get him posed, you're going to be fine, but he's not that efficient of a toy because the ratchets fail in Star Saber. Now, I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but I was the one who said Star Saber didn't quite feel like a very strong release at the time he came out. And everybody said that I'm an idiot. It's just because I don't know enough about Star Saber. But here he is with a little bit of weight on him, and he's flopping all over the place. That's what I really want to point out. Once he's posed, he's going to be just fine. But if you want to get him in super dynamic poses, you're going to really have to work with it. And if you want to play with him, it's going to be hard. Because he's so big anyway, it's going to be hard to play with him. But let me put it to you like this, outside of that, and even with that problem, because I think I'm fine with this. Let me put it in perspective for you. If I could buy this prototype of him right now, I would. This thing is really good. There's a couple things that are problematic, like the thighs collapsing are a little too tight. Just little things here and there are like too tight or don't move smooth enough, or like anything that involves the feet, collecting the nose cone to the jet with the feet, all that kind of stuff is a little bit of a headache, but it's pretty great. It doesn't have a lot of paint, but neither does Star Saber, so it matches up well. I've already said that. I might have to have myself a big plate of crow here because Keith knocked this out of the park. The Junkions were my favorite release from him up until now, and now it's this. And the Junkions were my favorite release from him after Blaster. So he's almost upping his game, for me anyway, every time. It feels like a masterpiece. The joints are great. The engineering is fun, and it's brilliant. I can't recommend this enough unless you want to wait for Takara to release an official. That's the only trick bag that you can get caught in here. But I love this. The materials are good, the articulation is good, the transformation is good, the hardware is fantastic, the aesthetics are on the money. All he needs to do is make sure everything moves smoothly, get that one snaggle tooth on the tiger or lion right, and I think he's going to have a home run on his hands. This is really, really, really well done. It doesn't, if I didn't know, it doesn't feel like what I think of when I think of KFC. So Keith, if you're listening, buddy, well done. Well done. More like this, please. Make sure everything moves smoothly, though. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Do you want to tell these nice people why we couldn't get a skit done today? How you wouldn't cooperate? Oh, nothing to say now, huh? Everything to say throughout the day. Now when it's go time, you don't want to say anything. You get that from your mother.